Today I'm testing the Jimmy R9 reverse osmosis water purifier for you. And let's start right off with a taste test. Compared to plain tap water, the filtered water tastes much purer and cleaner, which is why I've been using water filters in my household for over 20 years now. With that said, welcome to my Chimera State YouTube channel. As an executive creative director and music producer, my daily life is fully booked, which is why I pay special attention to my energy levels and clever hacks that make my life easier. And of course, the quality of the water we drink every day plays a central role in that. We constantly hear that tap water in Germany is probably the most strictly controlled food product of all, and that is generally true. But what many people forget is that these strict controls by the waterworks end exactly at our front door, or rather at the house connection. What happens after that on the so-called last mile is completely beyond any control. The water flows through the building's own, often decades-old pipe systems and fixtures. Unnoticed, rust particles, microplastics, stubborn deposits, or in the worst case, even heavy metals like lead and copper can detach and end up right in our drinking glass. Depending on where you live, there might also be potential chlorine residues and a very high limescale content. That's why filtered water offers me not only a crucial plus in safety and peace of mind for my own health, but above all an unadulterated, crystal clear taste. Especially with high quality coffee or tea, you notice this difference immediately. Exactly for this reason, I have been using a multi-pure filter from Pinot privately for a good 20 years. The only downside here is that you have to connect it to the faucet, you need an adapter for it, and when using it you always have to make sure that only cold water flows through the filter, and you also constantly have to switch back and forth between the regular faucet and the water filter outlet via the adapter. So I was all the more thrilled when the brand Jimmy contacted me to test their new Jimmy R9 reverse osmosis water purifier. For full transparency, Jimmy provided me with a device for this test free of charge, and this is a paid partnership. In the video description you'll also find affiliate links that you can use to grab the R9, for example on Amazon Prime Day or directly on the Jimmy website. Nevertheless, my review here is, as always, completely independent and I'm sharing my unfiltered opinion with you. Unboxing and design. The package was delivered quickly via Amazon. The box includes a user manual, a quick start guide, as well as 2 packs of citric acid to descale the device in the future. Then a BPA-free Triton water pitcher for the filtered water and a drip tray to catch any water drops. A plastic cover for the filter compartment, and a second BPA-free Triton water pitcher so you can always put one of them in the fridge, ensuring you always have cold water on hand. The 5-liter raw water tank is already installed on the device, so you basically just have to put all the parts together. One point that really impressed me as a tech fan is the well thought out interior. If we take off the cover on top, we look directly at the heart of the system. The 3 filter cartridges. The replacement here is solved via a so-called quick change system. You simply just have to twist the filter from the little lock closed symbol to the lock open symbol, and you can comfortably pull it upwards and out. No tools, no physical effort needed, just twist in and twist out. It really is a piece of cake. The water filtration happens here in 7 stages, which are divided among these 3 filters. The first is a microfiber activated carbon pre-filter. It removes coarse impurities like rust, sand or chlorine from the water. Then comes the powerhouse, the RO membrane filter. This reverse osmosis membrane is so fine that it filters out up to 99.9% of all harmful substances. This includes heavy metals, PFAS chemicals, bacteria and nitrate. Finally, the water runs through the third filter, a coconut shell activated carbon filter. It provides a slight remineralization and stabilizes the taste, which gives the water this soft, clear mouthfeel. And when it comes to follow-up costs, there's a positive surprise as well. You only have to change the pre-filter and the post-filter about every 12 months, and the large RO membrane filter lasts a whole 24 months. But you don't even have to remember this, because the Jimmy R9 will notify you automatically via the display when a filter is due. Then put the cover back on and you're ready to go straight away. No drilling, no adapters for the faucet, just fill the raw water tank with water and slide a water pitcher in until it clicks slightly into place. The Jimmy takes care of the rest completely on its own. By the way, the smart display provides you with all the important info at a glance. On the left you see the water temperature, in the middle always the current TDS value, meaning the total dissolved solids of your tap water. Right next to it you then see the significantly reduced TDS value of the freshly filtered water in the pitcher. Right underneath that you can seamlessly adjust the desired water temperature and the dispensing volume. Before using it for the first time, or if you haven't used the filter for more than 3 days, you should flush it out at least 3 times. And right at the end, you should also run a full raw water tank of water through it once at 98 degrees, which is the highest possible temperature. And then the water purifier is ready for use. The operation is genuinely super easy. You simply select the temperature on the left via the touch display, and you can choose here between 45, 55, 65, 75, 85 and 98 degrees. And on the right side you then select the water volume, and you can decide here between 60, 90, 120, 200, 300 and 500 milliliters. But pay attention, if you don't select a volume setting beforehand, the water will just keep running until the raw water tank is empty. Of course, you can stop the water flow at any time by pressing the dispense button again. As you can see, it works wonderfully to prepare hot tea with it, since even a really large tea glass fits comfortably under the water spout. And for everyone who, like me, loves hand-brewed filter coffee, I have more good news. A coffee mug with a 300 ml capacity fits perfectly under the spout, and a milliliter size 2 hand filter sits perfectly right on top of it. Since the water heats up in just 3 seconds, we have completely phased out our kettle by now. By the way, the Chimi R9 also features a built-in UVC sterilization. This UV filter ensures that the freshly filtered water in the pitcher is continuously irradiated. This effectively prevents new germs or bacteria from forming there again after filtering, even if the water sits in the pitcher for a day or 2. That's especially handy when, as I mentioned at the beginning, I always put one of the 2 pitchers in the fridge because I prefer my water ice cold. Last but not least, one important detail to understand about countertop reverse osmosis systems is the wastewater. Since the device doesn't have a fixed drain, the wastewater with all the filtered out pollutants and limescale flows back into the large raw water tank. Because it's heavier, it sinks to the bottom. That's why you must never drain this tank completely. But don't worry, the smart system of the R9 detects this and warns you right on time via an exclamation mark on the display. Then you simply pour the remaining wastewater down the sink, rinse the tank briefly and refill it completely with fresh tap water. Let's come to my conclusion after 2 weeks of continuous use. What really excites me about this concept compared to my old water filter is the pure convenience. As mentioned earlier, you don't have to drill and you don't need any adapters for the faucet. The Chimi R9 is a pure plug-and-play system. You simply just have to pick a nice spot on the countertop, plug it into the power outlet and fill the tank with tap water, and the device is immediately ready to go. Due to the small dimensions, the water purifier really fits into absolutely any kitchen or even the office. My mom has even considered getting a Chimi R9 for her garden house because it's often difficult to store fresh drinking water there. In my kitchen, the Chimi R9 has by now made the classic kettle and the coffee machine completely obsolete. Because the water heats up in just 3 seconds and is already highly filtered, I simply save an incredible amount of time. I also find the 2 detachable water pitchers super practical in everyday life. For example, when I want to pour pure water directly into the Thermomix or also to fill my essential oil diffuser with filtered water, the device doesn't calcify and the tech lasts significantly longer. My only minor quip with this model is that the standard Chimi R9 doesn't offer an active cooling function for the water, and since I prefer drinking my water really ice cold, I currently always put one of the pitchers in the fridge. If you want to skip this intermediate step, I would definitely advise you to go straight for the Chimi R9 Pro. That one actually has an additional cooling unit integrated and serves you 10 to 14 degrees cold water at the push of a button. But whether it's the R9 or the R9 Pro, everything you get with the Chimney you could theoretically also achieve with separate devices. But the R9 combines all these functions in one sleek device and also saves me the annoying hassle of lugging heavy water bottles around. Let me know in the comments, do you already have a water filter at home? Or are you still carrying crates up to the 4th floor? If you like the video, I'd be very happy about a like and a channel subscription as always. You can find the links to the Chimney R9 including current Prime Day offers down below in the video description. See you next time on Chimera State, take care.